Let's try it.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. It's your girl Shelly Nicole with the Remedy Podcast. How's everyone doing? Hope everybody had a great weekend. What was I gonna say? Happy. The Puerto Rican Day Parade was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I think the festival was Saturday and the Puerto Rican Day was Sunday. So, Boricuas. It was your weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys had a great time. I was gonna go, but I just had other stuff that I was planning, that I planned to do. And then the person who I was gonna go with, she is in California. Amanda's in California, so whatever. That's fine. It's okay. But either way, I had a really great weekend. I came back from vacation. If you guys haven't seen the vlog, I did put a vlog on YouTube, so you guys can check that out, of my DR trip. It was my parents' 40th wedding anniversary, so shout out to my parents making 40 years. Hope for another 40 years with them being married and just together, period. It was great. I had a great tan. Everyone keeps complimenting me on my tan, like, Michelle, you look so good. Thanks, babe. I sat in that sun and I made sure I got a tan. But I do realize that certain suntan lotions give me a better tan than other tans, than other lotions. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like when I use certain ones, I get either more golden tan or I get a more red tan, if that makes sense. Like, I use Australian Gold. That's the one I use the majority of the time whenever during the summer or wherever I go on vacation. And then I think I used, what was the other one that I used? Sunbum. That's the other one that I used on my body as well. I used Sunbum really on my back, and then I used the Australian Gold mostly on my, everywhere else. I use Supergoop for my face. That is a must. 10 out of 10 highly recommend Supergoop wherever and whenever you guys go away. It's all going to be in my card as to what I bought for the trip. It'll be a link on it's on Instagram. Yeah, my link on my personal Instagram. Again, I don't know why I can never get it on my actual podcast Instagram. I'm gonna try again and see if I can get it up there. But everything that I bought for the trip is going to be in my storefront, so you guys can get it from Amazon. And then what I got from Fashion Nova, some of the outfits. I didn't really post too much of the outfits because it really wasn't like I really didn't dress up like that. Like, the only time I dressed up was really for the actual event, and then the other ones I just wore regular things that I actually had, even though I did go shopping. So the objective was for me to wear whatever I didn't wear on this trip for my birthday trip, but we're going to take a pause and not go anywhere this year for my birthday. I know, sad face, because I really wanted to go away. But I am going to do something. I always, celebrate my birthday somehow, some way. So that is, I'm putting that together somehow with some type of plan. I keep changing my mind. Am I the only one that when it comes to my birthday that I consistently change my mind? I've had like 17 different plans already about what I was going to do. And most of it was just going back and forth between, yeah, I'm going away, and the other part is saying, like, no, you're not going away. Like, be financially responsible. You're not going away. You just went away. The money's moneying, but it ain't moneying that good for you to do two trips in back to back, a month apart. So, yeah. So I might just not. I don't know. Don't quote me, because I might change my mind again and just say, fuck it, I'm gonna go. Anyway, so that was mostly my week. I was away. The weekend I went to the movies and just chilled out. I really didn't do much. I did some laundry and was going to go see my nephew, but plans had changed. So that's cool. Whatever. I'll still get to see him one of these days. And then I got to go see my godsons. I keep saying that too. Like, I got to go see my godkids. Haven't seen them in like a while, so I have to go see them. But that was my weekend. It wasn't really too hectic. But today's episode is about dating someone who is emotionally intelligent. Now, this topic was actually brought to me, which was funny because I had this in like the list. I have like a long list of things that I'm going to talk about. I think I say that all the time, but I have a whole topic list of future episodes, and this was one that actually was on my list from last year of what I was supposed to talk about, but it never got to it. So oddly enough, someone came to me and was saying, had asked me a question, really, how important it is to date someone who understands you and someone who understands your trauma and your pain. And not only did this person come and ask me this, but oddly enough, my therapist and I had this conversation too. And we both agreed that the best relationships come when you're dating someone who has the emotional capacity to understand your pain and your trauma, and who is willing to fix it and help you fix it, actually. Not be the sole fixer, like, Mr. Fix-It, or Bob the Builder. Like, no, we're not doing that. But helping you get through whatever it is you were lacking in your last relationship, right? So I came up with like it was like 6 or I think like 7 things that it was 7. So it was 7 things that I actually thought about when it comes to dating someone who is emotionally intelligent, and how even now, as I am in a relationship, the importance that I never really saw in it, that I see in it now, but that dating prior to being with him, how important it is to date someone who has that mental capacity to understand you, and just the maturity to really to understand and deal with your emotions and their emotions as well. Now, the first thing I will definitely say is that emotional intelligence has nothing to do with age. I know that's like a big one that some people say that, oh, well, normally people who are older, they understand things better because they've been through life and yada, yada, yada. No. I have met people who are younger than me who I can have intellectual and real deep conversations about emotions, both men and women, that I know a few 30-year-olds my age and older who you can't have this type of conversation with because they're just so one-minded and think one way. Like, they're just so headstrong in their thought process that they feel like there's no way that there can be an actual difference, or that it's a possibility that someone can be understanding to your emotions. And I understand it too. It also has to deal with upbringing, what you've been taught as a child. But I do honestly feel, because I've held myself accountable of this in every aspect of understanding that no matter how you were raised, once you get to this point in your life, and when I say this point, I mean as an adult, and hopefully you surround yourself, you have a device connected to your hand almost 24/7, where you can either watch, talk, somehow interact, or have a close friend group of people who understand what it is to be or to feel your emotions. There's no reason why at this age you have not come to the understanding or come to the conclusion or even had a thought, an inkling of, you know what, I need to get better at expressing myself than the way that I used to when I was a teenager, or the way that I used to in my 20s or in my 30s, whatever it is. At some point, you have to tell yourself, okay, how can I go about understanding someone, and not just understanding someone, but getting my point across without it being so toxic or so abusive or aggressive, and getting what I need to get out without it coming off like I'm being a dick. So dating someone who is emotionally intelligent, like I said, is important because it sets the foundation for a healthier more stable and more fulfilling relationship or friendship. It's not just romantic, it can be platonic. When you have someone who, again, can understand you and can articulate themselves in a way where it doesn't seem like they're coming at you or being rude or downplaying your feelings or however it is you feel, your relationship or your friendship grows and becomes actually stronger. When you get someone who is, think about it. If you ever had somebody in your life, or if you currently have somebody in your life who you try to talk to all the time, and every time you try to talk to them or every time you try to vent to them about something that's going on, or if something happens to you, and their reaction is like very dismissive or very like they're annoyed all the time, like every single time you have this feeling or whenever you have something to express, they always just seem like, yeah, okay, whatever, get over it. Or you feel like you just really cannot talk to them. Those are people that you just need to cut off. Because I don't like having friends, and I never really, when I actually think about it, I never really had friends who were like that. I never had friends who were not open emotionally. I think we kind of, as we got older, it got better. But I do feel like even in high school, we never had that tension where we couldn't express ourselves. I remember like me and like a lot of my high school friends, we would like we would have conversations, and there was times where we cried, there's times where we laughed, and we would just really get deep into conversations sometimes about how we were feeling or whatever it is we were going through. And each and every one of us understood it. Even now in my adult relationships, friendships, I do see that I surround myself more with people who are understanding, but people who are also uplifting and motivating and motivating. I do feel like now as an adult, you do need that as well. Not just for people to be oh, it's okay. And you'll get, no, it's like, okay, girl, I get it. I understand. But now how are we going to get past this? Feel your feels. Now what are we going to do? Move on. After day 2, we got to move on. So the first thing you want to look for when you're dating someone, and this is just in the dating phase, right? This is not in the you're already boyfriend and girlfriend. This is the tryout season. We're going to call it that. This is the tryout moment where you're seeing how, if they're good for your team, and the team being you, if they're good for you emotionally, physically, mentally, all of that. Well, actually, let's take physically out because, okay, we're not going to get the physical part of it. Let's just understand the emotional and the mental side of it, because I think they both go hand in hand. And, actually, happy Mental Health Awareness Month for men. Shout out to the men. Take care of your mental health, please. We need you guys to do that. But the first thing is to have better communication. So emotionally intelligent people can express their feelings clearly and listen actively. I realize that they don't just hear you, they try to understand you. And this can reduce misunderstandings, and create space for open and honest conversation. Mind you, I wrote all of this down, so I was just making sure I read this correctly as I say this. But like I just said, communication is number one. In my last episode, if you guys listened to it, if you didn't, go back and listen to it, with my parents and how they stayed together for 40 years. The one thing that my father said, and my mother agreed as well, was that communication had to happen. You had to communicate about everything that was going on. The only way a union is going to work, or the only way that you're going to get what you need or see if this person can fulfill what it is you're asking of them, is by speaking up and saying what it is that you're looking for. It's not charades. We're not playing a guessing game. We're too grown for that. Be honest in where you stand, what you want, and what you're looking for, and what you expect from your partner. And if they're not giving that to you, or if you see them giving it to you in the beginning, and then as time has gone on and you realize, okay, wait, hold on, what's with the changing? And again, this is just in the dating phase. I don't think you need to date that long, but a lot of the times I've noticed that after month 3, even in dating, that things starts to shift. And if it shifts slightly, okay, that's nothing, depending on what it is, obviously. It's nothing too concerning to think about. But if you see a drastic change from when you first started dating to like month 3 or 4, it's just like, okay, what is going on here? See it for what it is. Don't look at that red flag as pink. It is a fucking red flag. But communicate how you feel. Like I said, emotionally intelligent people, they know how to express themselves. They know how to listen carefully. They don't just, they don't just listen to respond. They listen to hear exactly what it is you're saying to them. That way they can articulate back to you either what it is you just said or what it is you're actually looking for. Number 2, and this was a big one that I had to realize with my last relationships, and again what me and my therapist actually talked about. They manage conflict effectively. So they don't shut down, they don't explode, they don't avoid issues. Instead, they're more likely to approach disagreements with calm patience and desire to resolve. Not win, but resolve the conflict. I didn't understand this until I was in my single phase. I think I mentioned it before. I was dating around, dating here and there, but mostly just, single for 3 years prior to my new relationship. And during that time, I was able to think about my last relationship and the guy that I had been talking to for a little bit, and then the relationship prior to that. And I had to think about how when it came to conflict, especially in my last relationship, the conflict on both ends, not just him, but on me as well, we didn't resolve conflict correctly. It was a lot of shutting down and avoiding on his side and me exploding on my side. And I always used to say, well, my explosion was because of him shutting down. It was reactive to what he wasn't doing. And even being reactive to, and this again comes with maturity, it comes with time, it comes with understanding. Even reacting in that way, you're still never going to get your point across, because now you're screaming. Now you're being a little too aggressive. And as angry as you are, you have to either go your separate ways for a little bit and then come back when the both of you are calm. That way you can resolve it. Or maybe not necessarily go your separate ways, but just give it a second to hear each other out and then respond in a more calm way. Like actually having a conversation like this and talking. I do feel like at some point, though, I had to be honest, like at some point I did do that. But then when you have those moments where it's just like, you're not getting it. You're not understanding. So now I feel like I have to go up an octave and really get you to understand it. But the thing is, and ladies, I'm really talking to us right now, no matter how many octaves we go up, no matter how many times we yell or how loud we get, they're still not going to get it. And honestly, speaking like this to them, I won't say irritates them more, but I feel like it shows them you're more serious when you speak like this than all the yelling. Because they don't hear you when you're yelling. And again, I learned that in I didn't really yell as much in my last relationship. I did have moments of explosion because I was just so irritated and so annoyed towards the end. But in the beginning, whenever we did have conflict, I will definitely say I was very calm and trying to have the conversation, and he avoided it all the time. He was not trying to have it. But when you have someone who understands that life is gonna life, y'all not always gonna be in that honeymoon stage. There is going to be times where your relationship is going to be tried. There's going to be times where he's down, you're down, and you may have to, you know what I mean? Like, you may have to actually step up and step in and be that crutch that this person needs at the moment. And if that happens, I still don't feel like there's any grace as far as like shutting down and not being able to express what's going on. If you need a moment, that's fine. Like, if you need a moment to gather your thoughts, okay, cool. But say that. Don't just go completely silent. Don't go completely ghost, completely ignoring, and then expect us to have a what is it? I'm the word is right there, but I can't say it. An effective conversation when you just decided to shut down. Say, like, listen, babe, I need, like, give me an hour. Give me 2 hours. Whatever. Give me 20 minutes. Whatever it is. But it should not go into the next day, and it should not go all the way up, like, hours upon hours upon hours. You should be able to manage the conflict and be patient with each other. Understand that you're coming to a resolution, and not well, I beat you and I was right and you were wrong. And it's hard for us to do that as humans. Like, I think we try to do that we don't really try that enough, I would say, to do that in relationships where it doesn't become a I win, you lose type of thing. One always has to try to show the other one out, to say I was right in what what the argument was, instead of just saying, okay, so how do we come to an understanding about this? And that's something that we can all, honestly, not just y'all, but me as well. I can honestly take that as that advice. And although I don't really argue right now, I don't argue. Like, at this point in my life, I'm just like, you know what? Why? I'm going to say what I have to say. And then if I don't see change, like, I may address it again. But it's like the whole arguing and constantly going back and forth. No. Number 3 is empathy and compassion. Emotionally intelligent partners can put themselves in your shoes. They recognize your emotional need and respond with care, which makes you feel seen, heard, and valued. Which is true. I mean, you have to understand that your partner's life experiences are their life experiences. Whatever they went through is what they went through. If someone has trust issues, but they want to love, they want to have a relationship, they want to be there. Yes, again, and I've said this before. Yes, it is that person's duty to get themselves there. So that may mean therapy. That may mean working out to mentally, get the stress out off their mind, to write, to whatever it is, to get themselves in a more forgiving mindset and giving you grace because you are a new person and this is not, your old relationship. But I do feel like you, as my partner, you're going to understand it and you're going to try to help. Not fix it, but you're going to help. You're going to aid in it. So what do you need for me to do in order for you to build trust in me and build trust in our relationship? And it can be something as simple as, some men, like, at work argued me down when I had mentioned this before. Oh, it's not my duty to sit here and make you trust me. If you don't trust me, then what are we together for? Blase, blase, blase. Okay, but again, if men have constantly hurt her, and yet she's still going into relationships after relationships. Or we can flip it. If women have constantly hurt him and he has gone into relationships, given himself a break, has gone into another relationship. She did the same thing to him as the other one did. If he tells you, like an example, if he or she tells you, when you go out with your friends, when you go out with your girls, you go out with your guys, I would like for you to check in on me, just here and there. Not for a long time. You don't have to call me. A nice text message, hey babe, what are you doing? Or I hope you're okay. We're just here. We're just there. If you guys or the girls decide to change and go to a different restaurant or a different club or a lounge or whatever, hey babe, we just left this spot. We're going to this spot instead. It's just a reassurance to let them know that they're in the loop. There's nothing to hide. I'm letting you know that everything is fine and that you can trust me. It has nothing to do with the fact that you per se did something to them. And I know it's hard to understand it, but it's like coming from someone who had dealt with this and who gets reassurance a whole lot without me even having to say it. It's a matter of him understanding or her understanding, because again, it doesn't matter who it is, that this person is dealing with trauma. And again, while they're doing their own work to get it done and to fix it, I also know that it is up to me to show them I'm not like the other girls. I'm not like the other guys. I will give you what it is you need because it's going to help you get over whatever it is that happened in the past. And I have the empathy to assist you in that. If they argue you down about doing something like that because that's what you need reassurance, you need understanding as to what has happened to you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be cheating. It could honestly be anything. If they have an issue with that, they gotta go. I'm sorry, not sorry. The next one is accountability. And I feel like that's a really big one when it comes to relationships, because sometimes that is how a lot of these arguments last as long as they do. They take responsibility for their actions instead of blaming others. If they hurt you, they apologize and try to grow, not deflect and deny. If you know, right, that there was something that you did to piss me off, or you know there was something that you did that hurt me, and I bring it to your attention, and your first response is to say, man, listen, it's not that serious. Whoa, you lost me at it's not that serious. Because who are you to tell me that what you just did to me is not that serious? But I guarantee you, if you go and do it to them, oh, now it's World War V. Now it's that serious because now it happened to you. Again, putting yourself in someone's shoes, taking accountability for your actions. If you messed up and you fucked up, own it. Own the fact that you did something wrong. Don't sit here and make it seem like they're bugging. Don't sit here and make it seem like, you're thinking too hard, or it wasn't like that. It's not like that, or she don't mean this, or he didn't mean that. But I'm telling you, it's bothering me. And if your first instinct is to roll your eyes, kiss your teeth, man, I don't want to hear this. This is why I always... Okay. No problem. Exit stage left. Ladies and gentlemen, someone who cannot take responsibility and accountability for what they have done will never do that. The next one that I also feel is very good is self-awareness. They understand their own triggers, patterns, and emotions. This makes them less reactive and more intentional in how they treat you and show up in the relationship. Being self-aware of what it is you do, right? Perfect example. I think I've mentioned this before, where a guy I had been talking to did this disappearing act thing, like he was a fucking magician. In, out, in, out, in, out. I don't understand, right? And for me, when I had brought this up to him, he understood it, right? He was understanding of what he was doing, said it was a coward move, but still had done it. Knew that it would trigger me. Knew that it would make me think, you're talking to someone else, he's with someone else. The whole thing, the whole He's with someone else. He's talking to someone else. He's not that interested. Everything that you could think about when someone or if someone ever disappears is exactly what it is I was thinking at the time. And not just me. There, other women can say it too, whether they want to be honest about it or not. We go down this rabbit hole of what ifs and what could be happening. Because when you go without responding, and I'm only talking as a woman because I am a woman, so I can't talk for men and how they feel. But leave your comments, gentlemen, and let me know. When we don't know what's happening, and again, I don't need every detail for every minute, every second of the day of what you're doing when you're not around me. No, I don't need that. But a check-in here and there throughout the day, we're all next to our phones. Sending a text message takes 2.5 seconds, if that. A quick FaceTime, if you have a few minutes, 2-3 minutes, that's fine. A phone call can take 2 or 3 minutes. But when you sit here and say, I know it was wrong, I know I shouldn't have done that, I know I shouldn't have done this and this and that and the third, right? And yet continue to do said thing that you know is triggering, or you know that is an issue, you know that you have a habit of doing it because, again, he said he has a habit of doing this and he has to stop. But yet you continue to do it. You may be self-aware of what it is you're doing, but you are being blatantly disrespectful. And you have no intention of actually changing it. You're just soothing my emotions at the time, right? You're soothing my fear at the time to let me know, hey, I'm aware of this. Hey, I know I'm doing this that's irritating to you. But I'm just going to let you know that I'm really not going to change it. You can't be self-aware and then not do any type of changing. Like, you can't sit here and tell me that you know that your disappearing acts, you're lying, you're whatever the fuck, right, is an issue, and then you do nothing about it. Like, that's in every area. That's just not even just relationships. That's every area. Even, again, holding myself accountable to my own actions, as I got older. I can't sit here and be self-aware of my patterns and my issues and what I'm doing, my emotions, and then choose to not fix it. An emotional, intelligent person also has healthy boundaries. They respect your space and your needs without taking it personal. They also know how to set their own boundaries clearly and respectfully. Everyone should have boundaries, whatever it is. Whatever you like, whatever you don't like, whatever is okay to you, whatever is not okay to you. Everyone should have something that they will not allow someone to do, or what they will allow someone to do. And if you don't have any boundaries, I think it's important for you to start finding what are your boundaries. Start to find what is it that I'm okay with and what I'm not okay with. And whatever your partner, whoever you're dating, is telling you that this is how they feel, this is what they need. It could be anything. Like, literally, it could be like a schedule, right? Like, if they tell you, hey, my days off are, well, let's say regular people, because, there are regular people out here with regular 9-to-5s that have weekends off, right? So if they say, during the week, they have their work schedule is 8 to 4. After that, they normally go work out. And they'd be home by like maybe 6:30-ish, 7, right? That's their time to now be able to talk to you, to FaceTime you, whatever. If you come over, you spend the night, cool, whatever, however you get it together, right? But then on the weekends, maybe Saturday is their day to get their stuff together. Maybe Sunday is their day to get themselves together, ready for the week. Or maybe they like to go to church on Sunday. Maybe they need a certain, and I don't want to say like they need a certain amount of time away from you. I don't want to say that, because if someone really is into you, they're going to fit you in their schedule no matter how busy it is or no matter what it is that they're doing. But I will definitely say that they're going to have things that they need to do on their own, space that they need to just be themselves and to get their own shit done, to then come back and be a healthier and still more alert version within the relationship. But having those boundaries of, again, what you're accepting and what you're not accepting is definitely a must. And for the record, if anybody ever tells you that they don't have any boundaries, red flag, walk away. Just saying. And lastly, they are emotionally supportive. When you're struggling, regardless if it's mentally, physically, financially, I said mentally? I think I said mentally. Emotionally, they offer support rather than judgment or dismissal. You can depend on them during emotionally heavy times without feeling like a burden. When you're going through something, and again, if this being Men's Mental Health Month, I think it actually is, or in last month just being Mental Health Awareness Month, I do feel like you have to be able to talk to your partner. You have to be able to speak to the person who you are trying to do life with. Because again, I think at this big ass age of ours, we are trying to settle down and not just play around. I don't know why we're still doing that at certain ages, but we're not here for that. Anyway, that's another episode. If you're not mentally there, or you're not okay, the first person you should talk to is God. That's obvious. I shouldn't say obvious, because some people don't know that, but the first person you should talk to is God when you're mentally not okay, because it's always the devil trying to tell you that you're depressed. It's always the devil trying to derail you off of the path that God is trying to lead you down. And a lot of times the devil tries to make, you guys have heard this, the saying, an idle mind is the devil's playground. But I also feel like a chaotic mind is the devil's playground as well, because he'll make you feel like you're not doing enough. He'll make you feel like you should be doing more when you're doing exactly what it is you're supposed to be doing, when you're actually doing enough. And making you feel like you're less than because of what you see on social media or what you see your friends doing. The first person, again, you should talk to is Jesus Christ. That's who you should talk to. Open up your Bible. I like Psalms and Proverbs, but you can also go to Romans. You could do, what's the other one? Those are the only ones I like. I like all of them, but Psalms, Proverbs, and Romans, I feel like I get a lot of my encouragement from, and reminders of who God is, especially when I have my moments of mentally, like, just my brain is just shaking and I'm mentally like about to lose it. That's who you should go to first. That's one. But two, the next person that you can or should go to is your partner, because that's who you're, again, doing life with. Yes, you're going to have your friends. Yes, you're going to be able to talk to your friends, of course. And those are also people that you should talk to. But in this instinct, if you are dating someone, you should be able to go to them and let them know that, hey, I feel like I'm having a breakdown, or I feel like I'm not mentally being myself right now, and I need a hug, or can we go for a walk, or can we go get some ice cream, or can you just rub my back, or can you just give me some words of encouragement, whatever it is. And if you're really dating someone who's really, 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 really into you, they'll see it without you even having to say it. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't say it, because you should. Again, this is not charades. But what I am saying is that someone who is really into you, someone who knows you, someone who is aware of your emotional state, as far as when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're frustrated, how you look in all of those type of forms, they are going to be able to, hey, what's going on? Talk to me. What's wrong? You're very quiet. You're very standoffish. You're not as touchy or affectionate as you used to be. What's happening right now? Speak to me. Let me know. If they never ask you that, and again, this is not just women having your man ask you this or your man being emotionally supportive to you, we too as women need to be emotionally supportive to our men. And I feel like a lot of the times men drift off from being being so emotionally vulnerable with us because we don't ask, we don't see it, and or we're so wrapped up in our own shit that we don't realize that sometimes our man needs to feel that he can also open up to us as well. And we can't sit here as women and sit here and say like, oh yeah, I want a man who can emotionally, understand me and who's emotionally intelligent and into. Do you know what emotionally intelligent is? Or are you just saying it because it sounds like a damn trend that everyone is saying? Like, are you going to be emotionally available to him when he comes to you talking about how down he's feeling? Or are you going to tell him, man, toughen up? Like how the world has been telling men forever. Don't cry. Toughen up. Don't make it seem like you're hurting. You're a man. Get over it. Men are humans just as much as we are. And if they need that emotional support, you have to be that emotional support for him too, just as much as you want him to be that for you. So if you're dating someone, like I said, who isn't giving that to you, cut them off. I mean, I want to say, okay, maybe don't cut them off. Speak to them about it first. Let me not be too harsh. Speak to them about it first and let them know like, hey, I need you to... How do you handle emotions? That's a good question to ask. How do you handle emotions? And see what their response is. And if their response is nothing, I think that's actually a good question to ask when you first start dating. How do you handle emotions? Like if I'm emotional, and don't tell me that it's my period, don't tell me that I'm PMSing, don't tell me any of the other fucking bullshit. Yes, it is true. PMS symptoms are true. Yes, we do be moody, but it's not for that long. It's only for maybe 3-4 days and then we're fine. But still, all the other times we're perfectly fine. It's just something is bothering us. Maybe we're stressed out. But if they can't sit here, like again, if you feel like you can't sit here and tell that person, or when you're dating that person, that's what I meant to say. If you're dating this person, ask them that question. Like, how do you handle emotions? If I need you emotionally, how would you handle that? And see what their response is. And if their response is very lukewarm, very like, oh, I'll give you your moment and, I won't say nothing to you because I want you to figure it out and everything is you do. Yeah, I wouldn't stay there, sweetheart. And that's guys and girls. I wouldn't stay there. So, all in all, right, emotionally intelligent people bring maturity, stability, and depth into a relationship. They help you grow. They don't help you shrink. They help you grow. And that makes love feel safer, stronger, and more sustainable when you have someone who can emotionally be there for you. So hopefully you guys have taken some of these things that I've said and thought about it for yourself, for your own relationships or relationships that you're trying to get into. And really think about it, because it's all cute and dandy when a person looks good, when they got a lot of money, when they drive in a nice car. But can you come to them when you have issues? Can you come to them when you're just not mentally there? Can you come to them when you're not feeling like yourself? That's the big thing. And again, I've really honed in on that as I've gotten older. That the looks are good, the money may be great, but if emotionally you're not there, after a while it's like, okay, now what? And that's just me. I mean, honestly, I like when my man knows when there's something wrong with me without me even having to say anything. Like he just knows. Like, yeah, you're not telling me something. What's going on? And even if I don't say it in that moment, it's the hug. It's the let's go for a walk, or hey, let's go get this, or we're going to go here, we're going to go there. It's just something to make me stop thinking about it, or for me to just be in a better headspace. And I do the same thing. What's going on with you? What happened? You're not being yourself. What's up? And at one point in the beginning, he wouldn't say anything, but now he's like more open to speaking. So again, look at emotional stability or emotional intelligence in the person that you date, because if they don't have it, they'll probably never have it, and you'll be dating the same person over and over again, just in a different body. But I thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys have an amazing week. The summer is here, thank God. Hopefully we don't drop down to no 50-degree weather no more. I'm over it. I'm tired. I want to wear my shorts. I want to have my feet out. And I want to wear my sundress. I hope you guys have a great week. Again, whatever happened into today, leave that shit in today. Don't bring it into tomorrow. Love you guys for listening. Make sure you guys comment and share. And make sure you guys check out the video from the DR trip. Let me know how you guys like it. All right, y'all. See you later.